Right, here we go. Should be back for the second, here for the restart, sorry, of the NLR versus GSP 5 event. Just had a bit of lobby issues on the first, or not lobby issues, well, just general glitches on the first lobby. So we've restarted the lobby and we're ready to go again, try again. Hopefully this time we don't run into any issues. Yeah, we are at the Circuit of the Americas for the USA Grand Prix. 5 drivers from 2 different teams, from GSP and from NLR. Should hopefully have an exciting event here with very high standard of drivers, obviously with 2 teams being involved. We should have only top drivers. NLR Sparks is the first one out of the pits in his green, blue, black and white NLR car. Green on the minimap for NLR and then black for GSP. With the GSP car being black and red. As we'll be able to see once one of them leaves the pits. I'll show you when, one of these off-board shots here of them. Next car leaving the pits, another NLR car. But I'm not sure which one it is yet. That is F1V Linus. But now we actually have GSP cars leaving the pits. Yeah, there we go. GSP, Thoralf, and Danger Times, both off the pit lane. There we go, this is the GSP car. Full black with a few red lines through the bodywork of the car. We've got Danger Times on the mediums. The rest of the guys who are already out are on soft tires. Also Russell, oh, he should switch to soft, I was about to say. He was sitting on mediums in the pit lane. So yeah, most people going for the soft tire here in qualifying. And Sparks will be the first one to start a lap. He's got the number 69 NLR car, just going around the final 2 corners now, ready to go for the first hot lap of this qualifying session. I'm expecting times in the low 31s, maybe even the high 30s, we'll see. I think we had a 31.3 in the first qualifying session before we restarted, so I'm expecting times to be around that, if not faster. There we go then, Sparks down to turn 1, takes 3rd gear, avoiding the wheel spin on the exit. I'm gonna take a very tight line through this, taking all the curb possible without spinning out. Now, gonna cut the track as much as possible, keeping 1 tire from the white line, keeps it flat out through there. Now down to 6th gear, back on the power, and that's 24.768 for the first sector by NLR Sparks. Let's see what his lap time will end up being. There's a car coming up ahead from the NLR team, might be able to give him some slipstream. I believe that is probably MLR Russell or Kart Racer. It's Russell. There we go. And it does look like he's giving him some slipstream, so nice teamwork here from the NLR team. Gonna open up DRS and Russell is gonna stay on the racing line for now. Probably gonna move over in a bit to allow Sparks to go past and continue a start lap. There we go. Brilliant teamwork from the 2 NLR cars. And Sparks has gained an extra couple of tenths, but it doesn't matter as he invalidates his lap time by cutting that corner right there. The following car is F1V Linus, who, well, both him and Sparks actually are doing the first race for NLR today. So we're getting to see some debuts. I have to mention, my name is NLR Phoenix 1, I am part of the NLR esports team, so I am a bit biased in this whole event, but I will try my best to be as impartial as possible. And Linus invalidates in the same spot as Sparks did. The next car on the hot lap is Danger Times on mediums. So GSP driver now will set the first lap time, unless he also invalidates at some point. Now going to the corner where both Sparks and Linus invalidate, he takes much less curb and keeps it on the track and avoids the invalidation. But he's on medium tires, so well, he will go P1 since he's the first driver. I'm not expecting him to stay there for any amount of time, really. I think, the moment anybody else on the soft tire, so anybody else puts in a lap time, he will be displaced from P1 immediately. We go then into the final 2 corners. What will his lap time be? If he's in the 131s on the mediums, that would be a decent lap time, I believe. So into the final corner. Oh, gonna open up the DRS 132.5. Alright. Next car was GSP 12 of 31.1. There we go. Times getting definitely faster. GSP Moritz next one. So only GSP cars setting that up until now. NLR cars seemingly running in some trouble here. GSP Moritz. It's gonna be a 131.6, half second slower than his teammate Thoralf. Both on the same tire though. Russell, the first NLR car who might be setting a lap here. Although he is short shifting quite, I believe he is not on a fast lap at the moment. This, yeah, this is definitely not a fast lap. He's not using ERS, he's not pushing. Up ahead of him, who's that? Sparks, invalid lap time, alright. Who is the furthest in the hot lap right now? Danger times? No, it's going slowly. That is Thoralf, he might actually, yeah, he might be going for second run here. He's using ERS, he seems to be pushing. But will he be able to actually improve on his lap time? I mean, 31.1 in the first run. And he's got no ERS left basically, so he'll be losing some time because of that. And he is 2.5 tenths down. Yeah, no, I don't think we have to look at this. There is no real chance of that being a competitive lap time. Axel Nino has also invalidated his lap. Lots of struggling going on for the NLR cars. Can't seem to be able to put in a valid lap. And there we go, DG Ruffy now is the next one across the line. Purple in Sector 2, 101.287. Thoralf did 24.7 and 36.6, and he is currently doing 24.6 and 36.5. So he might be on for a provisional pole position for the GSP team. Well, they have that already anyways, because NLR have not even managed to put in a lap yet with almost the first 8 minutes, 7 minutes of qualifying gone. The Giraffe then around the final corner, opening up the ERS, 1:30.846. There we go, we're already into the 1:30s, quite early on into the session. Axel Nino now, not on a hot lap, definitely not. GSP Corica might be on a hot lap at the moment, 31.6 is his current best lap, so he's half a second behind his teammate Thoralf and 8 tenths behind his teammate Ruffy. So it seems that Ruffy and Thoralf are able to go, either they are able to go quite a bit faster, or Corica and Moritz made mistakes on their laps. Danger times is on the mediums, so I'm gonna give him a pass and assume the pace difference is based, caused by him being on medium tires. We've got Linus on a hot lap, not anymore as he invalidates it through turn 2. So we'll go back to Corica. He is at the moment on the back straight, flying over this DRS, with DRS open across the straight, 304 kilometers an hour, going into the braking zone. And, oh, that was actually legal, I was surprised by that. But he does seem to be slowing down now. Or he was just braking very, very early. Yeah, no, he is abandoning this lap. Ruffy is not pushing at the moment either. Is anybody pushing right now? No, it doesn't seem like it's Sparks, I guess, will be the next one then on the hot lap. He is currently on an out lap. Where's Danger Times? He is just coming off turn 1, so yeah, Sparks will indeed be the next one. Yeah, while we have nothing going on, I'm gonna tell you some track facts. This is the Circuit of Americas, or often known as COTA, which holds has held the US Grand Prix every year since 2012, apart from 2020, where we had, of course, had the pandemic, which stopped the race from happening. It's a 5.513 kilometer long track with 20 corners, most of them inspired by other racetracks. For example, what we're going to right now is inspired by Turkey Turn 8. The S section obviously is inspired by Maggots and Beckett's, by Japan's, Suzuka, sorry, S section. Just the usual S section in general is, you see that quite a lot in a lot of tracks having S sections. But I think specifically it's inspired by Maggots and Beckett's. So, yeah. We've got a 28 lap race on 50% race distance. So in real life it's 56% or 100% is 56 laps, but we are doing 28 today. And outside of F1 there are also other racing series here who race around here, such as NASCAR Cup in this Xfinity Series, W Series, IndyCar, and even the World Endurance Championship and IMSA have raced around here. So it's a very often used track, which also makes it quite nice to compare the pace of different series. Sparks seems to be lagging around a little bit. I'm not sure if he's actually driving himself, because these movements do definitely remind me of AI, but no, this is just lag. He's definitely still in the lobby, but he's lagging around quite a bit, which could be a concern. Hopefully he isn't lagging around the race when people are trying to actually go side by side with him, as that can be very, very distracting and difficult. Welcome to the stream, everyone, by the way. Seeing a lot of chat activity, very nice to see. Always love people tuning in to the NLR races. Yeah, we've got Sparks, the first NLR driver. All the GSP drivers mentioned at lap time, but NLR currently with no lap time set after 10 minutes. But Sparks will be looking to change that finally with the first valid lap for an NLR car. Hopefully, as he comes around the final corner. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it. And there we go. Over the line's gonna be a 1:30.957, but he's not appearing on the leaderboard. Why is that? Was the lap invalid or? This is a bit interesting. I guess it's not gonna appear on the leaderboard. Kart racer currently invalid lap time. So, same for Russell. These guys are really struggling with track limits apparently. Just not able to put in any valid lap at all. Thoralf is currently on a hot lap. His previous best there is a 31.117, about 2.5 tenths. There we go, Sparks now, 1:30.692. I could have sworn it was 1:30.9, but there we go. Lap is finally appeared in leaderboards. That is interesting. There we go. Danger Times now up into P3 with his first lap on the soft compound tire. Puts himself into a P3 with 1:30.879, about 30 thousandths of a second slower than his teammate DG Ruffy. Thoralf meanwhile is looking to improve on his current P4 position. He is just coming out this Turkey Turn 8 clone here into turn 19 now, and then just turn 20 to go the final corner, which will hopefully see him complete this lap time. Stays in third gear from the corner, gonna open up DRS over the line, bit of a slide coming up final corner, 1:31.031, 86 thousandths of a second gained, not enough to gain a position, or drop into the 130s. The next car across the line on a hot lap might be DG Ruffle, who's 1/10 up. He needs to gain, what is it, 1.5 tenths to beat Sparks, so he might, if he manages to find a bit more time, might manage to take back provisional position from NLR Sparks. So yeah, definitely seeing these two teams being quite close here, GSP and NLR. Although NLR definitely are struggling to well, to even set laps. I've been repeating myself about this quite a few times, but they keep invalidating. I mean, it took them quite a while for even one driver to do a lap. And now I saw earlier, I think another driver, I think it was Kart Racer as well, had invalidated this lap again. Ruffy, 1:30.753, gains 93 thousandths of a second, stays in P2 though. Linus now, finally, somebody who manages to finish the lap. X-Linio as well, 1:31.020, puts himself into P4. What Linus? Into the final corner, starts in the fourth gear, opens DRS, 1:30.681, puts himself on the pole position. Russell on the medium tire, where will he end up? 32.9, sorry. In P9 then, 6 tenths behind the next car, so he wants to get off the back row of the grid, he will have to use a soft compound tire. With 6 minutes to go, no lap set yet from Kart Racer. Is Russell going for another one? He might be. He's using ERS, I believe. I guess we'll see once he crosses the... Yeah, he is going for another lap. Half a tenth up from MLR Russell, but I don't really see the point in this, as the mediums obviously are not fast enough to be able to start anywhere apart from the back row of the grid. But I guess, maybe, I think it would make more sense to pit for softs now, if he wants to make another one, because he won't be getting any further up than P9 anyway. Maybe he has a plan that I don't understand. Currently, only Russell pushing, trying to improve on his time. Everybody else either on an in-lap or sitting in the pit lane. Maybe Russell lost a lot of time somewhere and thinks he can massively improve. He is 90 thousandths of a second up, or 900ths of a second. Not enough to go anywhere with this. This will keep him P9, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if he even decides to finish the lap or if he decides to abandon it and go into the pit lane to get soft tires. Stays wide through here, can't quite go to the inside as he would like to save some time. And he is gonna go into the pit lane and abandon that lap. Linus is the only car on track right now, and he is also on his way back to the pits, I believe. As you can see, the fuel light flashing, so yeah, he should definitely be on his way back to the pits. Sparks now on an out lap, so he'll be the first one to start his final run. Everybody else is still sitting in the pit lane and waiting, with only 3 minutes to go. So yeah, they're all keeping it quite late. Nobody seems to be... I can see one car is driving into the pits, not driving out. So yeah, we'll stay on board with Sparks, who will be the first one here on the final run. 1:30.692. He is very, very close. I mean, if you look at that gap, exactly 100 of a second from Linus to Sparks, and then DG roughly 71,000 of a second behind Linus, also not far away. So yeah, those three seem to be setting the pace early on, although the rest of the field is not far away. So I would not write off anyone at the moment. I think any driver really could maybe put in a good lap and pull himself into the top positions, see himself fighting for the victory in the race. GSP Moritz now is also the second car driving out. You can see another GSP car on their way off the pits as well. That's GSP Corica, and then yeah, now everybody's driving out with 2 minutes to go. But Sparks will be the first one we see on a flying lap. 1:30.692. If he wants to gain, wants to put himself into P1, he needs to gain a minuscule amount of time. So just about any time gain should put him onto provisional pole position. Let's see where he goes with this lap. It's gonna open up DRS. We're gonna stay on board with him for this entire lap. You can see cars coming off the pit, and hopefully they will not be blocking him. Goes wide in turn 1, takes all the curb on entry into third gear, keeps him in third gear, keeps the speed up, avoiding wheel spin on exit as much as possible. Then, yeah, taking as much curb as possible through here, and then through the S section as well, cutting the track as much as possible. Obviously, wanna keep the line as short as possible. There we go, down to fifth gear. What will his sector 1 time be? I wasn't shown. Brilliant. He went over the line without showing me. That's interesting. But yeah, he seems to be having some lag again as he's making jerky steering movements. So yeah, I think he's having some internet problems right now as he comes up behind Cartwright and Linus. Not really a successful attempt at slipstreaming, or is it? I guess somewhat. Cartwright is gonna have to move off the way now and let Sparks go. Slipstreaming worked to some extent there, but not perfectly. Third gear through here. Axelino's gonna let him go. Yeah, I think he just shot me in sector 1 time after he passed sector 2, that's very interesting. But it was a 24.7 in sector 1 then, because 24.7 is definitely not a sector 2 time. So, yeah, he needs to gain really nothing to get past Linus. So he might be on for pole position here, I'm not sure, as the Delta wasn't really working on his lap. The game is, yeah, not being nice to me right now. There we go, into the final corner. Was this enough to put himself onto provisional pole position? And last marks. 1:30.692. Did he just do the exact same lap time again, or was it a glitch? I am honestly not sure, but Moritz is the next one on hard lap. He was 30,000 of a second up. Will he be able to put himself further up the field? Currently in P7, 31.435. He will cross the sector 2 timing line right now. 71,000 of a second up. That would not gain him a place, but he would gain some time as he almost spins out. Loses the rear through that exit right there. But just about managed to catch it still and keep going. There we go, Sparks' time is finally registered, 1:30.587, so he is on provisional pole for now. But obviously everybody else still on hot laps, looking to improve on their time. Moritz now through the final corner. Short shift into fourth gear, opens up DRS, 1:31.114. No position gain for Moritz. Corica next one over the line, 1:31.630 is his current time, half a second behind anyone else, so he needs to gain a load of time if he wants to get anywhere in this race, or in this starting grid. Deploy used already 31.3, stays in P8, he does gain 3/10 though. The first one over the line, or the next one over the line, will be an Enela Axelino, 2/10 up, currently with 31.020 in P5. Where will he put himself? Will he be able to dispatch danger times of P4, maybe roughly of P3? There we go now, into the final corner, brake early, down to the second gear, short from the third, open up the DRS, 1:30.836. The next car is Linus, 30.453, roughly now, coming into the final corner. Everybody finishing the laps at pretty much the exact same time, roughly 1:30.499, not enough to get pole position away from LR. And the car racer going into the pit lane, so he does not even set a lap time in this qualifying session. Very interesting. So I assume he'll be starting on the mediums. So there we go then. Linus, 1:30.453, takes pole position for NLR, with roughly in P2 for for GSP, sorry, 1:30.499, followed by NLR Sparks, 1:30.587, and well, I guess we'll go through the rest of the grid once we see the actual results. Well, it was quite the exciting qualifying position. We saw multiple drivers fighting down to pole position, so that's quite promising for the race. There we go then. Linus in P1, Ruffy in P2, Sparks in P3. The only non-German in this lobby actually. That is well quite a sight. Danger Times for GSP in P4. Axelinho for NLR in P5. Russell for NLR in P6. GSP Thoralf in P7 for GSP, and then GSP Moritz, obviously also GSP P8, Korika P9, Kart Racer at the back of the grid with no lap time being set, so I assume that he wants to do some kind of alternative strategy and prefers being at the back and starting on mediums and using the softs later on. So that's what I'm going to assume. That's what I'm going to predict, that Kart Racer will start on the medium compound tire and then later be on the soft. Right, we are waiting for the drivers to decide on the strategies, decide on the fuel load, maybe make some last minute changes to their setups, increase or decrease the tire pressures, maybe, change the front wing. All the stuff you can still do on a park for May. We'll do a points update once they all make pit stop. Yep, that would be nice. Just so I can have an idea of who is actually leading in the point standings. So yeah, feel free to put your predictions in the chat of or which driver will win the race and which team will win the championship, or not the event. Which team will be scoring more points based on the standard F1 point system. So 25 for the winner, 18 for P2, 15 for P3, and so on. With obviously no points being given to people who crash out, and 1 point for the fast lap of the race. I predicted NLR win. Yeah, I have to agree. I think NLR looked the stronger team in qualifying. They have more drivers in the top 5. I think every NLR driver in the top 5 apart from Kart Racer. Or was it? I think so. Or maybe Russell wasn't. No, Russell wasn't P6. Sorry, not top 5. So yeah, was really only one GSP driver who was able to beat the NLR guys. Oh no, sorry, two GSP drivers in P2 and in P4, and then NLR in P10, P6, P5, P3, and P1. So I'm expecting NLR to be the favorites for this. I don't want to jinx it, but we'll hopefully still have an exciting race. And obviously GSP were not looking slow either in the qualifying session. Seeing some support for Ruffy to win the race. Interesting. Yeah, Ruffy he was second in qualifying, so he was definitely one of the fastest guys on track. So he might be a genuine contender for the win. But I truly do think that pretty much, almost all of the drivers on the grid could win this race. They are all very, very strong drivers and definitely know what they're doing. They have great pace and they know a lot about the game. They know how the game works. They know the intricacies, know the strategies that you would choose. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can see some great racing, some good battling, which USA definitely allows with 2 DRS straights and quite a few hard braking zones where you can maybe send one up the inside, or maybe even try it around the outside. So yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in for an exciting race. I'm just waiting for the race to start now. I assume we're waiting for a signal from Harley that we can go. Alright, there we go. We can finally see the grid now. The drivers are ready up, and we are going onto the formation lap with Linus leading the field from Ruffy and Sparks, then Axelini, Russell, Thoralf, Moritz, Korika, and Kartracer starting in last. And as I predicted, Kartracer on the medium tire, going for the alternative strategy of medium to soft. Well, this could be so exciting. I think Kartracer now on the alternative strategy could really throw in a curveball here. Just doing something different will always bring in excitement. Even if it's just one driver on a different strategy. And obviously the very similar pace of Linus, Ruffy and Sparks in qualifying, and the danger time as well not far off. Yeah, promises to be an exciting race. And I think Linus really aggressively warming up the front and rears here, making sure they're all ready for the race start. I honestly think we could see Kartracer managing to go from last to first with that strategy if it does work out. If he gets a bit of luck maybe with a well-timed safety car, or if he's managed to stay with the field early on and then have the soft tires at the end be able to go past all of them guys. So it could work brilliantly. Or if there's an early safety car, say around like lap 10, 11, where people would pit from some soft to mediums anyway, he might be in trouble. But if that doesn't happen, he is definitely has the advantage on strategy, although he does have the disadvantage of a bad track position. So I guess that's the trade-off he went for. But yeah, 4 NLR cars in the top 6, 2 GSP cars in the top 6. So NLR definitely looking like the stronger team right now, at least in qualifying trim. But all to play for in the race, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. And the same applies to the F1 game. Especially to the F1 game, I mean, anything can happen in this game. It's Codemasters after all. We've seen some very interesting glitches. But yeah, let's hope that we don't get anything this time around, as we are ready to start the race. Just lining up the last 2 cars. Once Kartracer's in this grid slot, we will go to the front of the grid and watch the race start. So Linus will be side by side with Ruffy here on the starting grid. Who will lead after turn 1? It's a heavy braking zone, so a lot can happen. Ascent can be done. There we go. The 5 red lights are on now, and we're ready for the race start. And it's lights out and away we go. Race started, looking like a decent start from Ruffy. Linus not so good though. Ruffy immediately taking lead. Sparks trying to get the P2 here. Linus covering off. Sparks on the inside. Linus on the outside. Danger Time's trying to get involved, but he's squeezed off the track. Ruffy is taking the lead through turn 1. Sparks and Linus now in P2 and 3, fighting a bit. Not really what you want to see between teammates. Thoralf as well looking for a fight with Axelini, but Axelini managed to stay ahead. Kartracer up into P8 already, gaining 2 places off the start. But now we are gonna stay on both Korika. Yes, the camera wasn't that good, but now we're back to a decent camera where we can actually see stuff. Yeah, Ruffy seemingly pulling away already, 7/10 of a gap to Linus. So Ruffy really having some good pace early on here. Can he manage to pull a gap of at least 1 second, get Linus out of the DRS range? Meanwhile, in the background, Moritz is looking for a move back on Kartracer, using that soft compound tire. He's gonna be able to brake later than Kartracer probably, especially on the inside line as well. And he does manage to brake later just slightly. Kartracer trying to go for the switchback move, but can't make it work. Up ahead, 3 wide. Russell, Thoralf and Axelini fighting from P5 to P7. Thoralf looking for a move on Axelini as well, but he's just managing to fend from Russell, for now at least. And Thoralf puts himself up into P6, while Axelini keeps that P5. Kartracer's back down to P10, meanwhile he's dropped both those places he gained. But if he just managed to stay in the DRS range, stay in the DRS train, that is all he needs to do for now. He will have the tire advantage later on and be able to make the moves that he needs to. Fast little race obviously from Ruffy, 134.851. Obviously early on, first car over the line gets a fast lap by default. Nobody going for a move down to turn 1, but Linus is staying close to Ruffy. Meanwhile, Sparks is almost off DRS range, so Sparks has to maybe start pushing a bit more if he wants to stay in its teammate's DRS. Be ready to back him up. And obviously with DRS also helps him keep behind danger times. Oh, we are seeing the timing board lit. I haven't seen that in a while. But I think it has fixed itself already. I'm just gonna do that. There we go, should be back to normal everything now. Let's have a look at the, quick look at the position changes. We can see Sparks has dropped 7 places. What has happened there? Sparks? What? So that's what happened. Sparks has been dropped down to P and back up to P3. Yeah, Sparks seems to be having some connection issues and glitching out a bit, but he goes back up to P3. So yeah, 1 place gained for Ruffy, 1 gained for Linus, 1 gained... 1 gain for Ruffy, 1 loss for Linus, sorry, 1 loss for Russell, 1 gain for Thoralf. And that's all position changes we had, apart from that everybody stayed in the grid slot. Closest battle right now, I mean there's battles all over the field, there's not really any battle that's closer than any other ones right now. Kart Racer managing to stay with these guys on the medium tire, so he's doing exactly what I said he should do. Just staying with them, being able to use the DRS now that it will be activated once they cross the line into lap 3. Kureka running right there, that might have been a warning, I'm not entirely sure. There we go, DRS enabled. This is where the real race starts. Danger Time's getting very, very close to Sparks here. Will he go for a move in turn 1? He's gonna have the outside line, Sparks on the inside, covering him and off. Sparks having to cut the corner a little bit to leave him space. Bit of contact made on the exit. Sparks trying to hang it around the outside, but I believe Danger Times with the inside line will have make that move work. Now the slip inside into the section. What a brilliant battle between those two. And Sparks has been spun around, and that's his fight for the podium over, at least for now. He resets to track, and he's down to P10 after that spin. Almost spinning out again there as he tries to get going again. But that leaves Linus and Ruffy all alone in the front. 1.7 seconds the gap to Danger Times now. And now, first time that Linus has DRS advantage over Ruffy. Will he instantly be able to go for a move? Ruffy has a lot more ERS though. Maybe Linus will just stay behind for now, save the ERS, and go for moves later on. No, maybe. Oh, he's turned off the DRS, he's gonna stay behind. Meanwhile, in the background, no, Thoralf not doing any of that. He's burning his ERS to go past Axelinho. Round the outside! Will that work? No, no chance. Axelinho squeezes him out on exit and stays in P4, close the door on him. Meanwhile, no other battles going on. Thoralf very close to Axelinho again, but not able to actually go for that move down into turn, what is it, 2019, 18, 17, I think it's 16, but I'm not completely sure. I mean, there's no corner names around here and the numbers are a bit high to count. First penalty of the race, Danger Times. 3-second time penalty for Danger Times. That could be crucial in the end. Although he is managed to catch back up to Linus, maybe trying to get back into that DRS range. Let's have a look at his ERS. Yeah, almost empty. He's pushing. Trying to get Linus's DRS so he can back up his teammate Ruffy. Meanwhile, Thoralf, Axelinho and Russell are still very close with each other. And Axelinho now has dropped out of DRS range to Danger Times. So we're seeing, well, 3 trains for me. We've got Ruffy, Linus and Danger at the front, then Axelinho, Thoralf and Russell. Maybe those two are still, those 6 cars are still one train if actually managed to stay with Danger Times here. And then Moritz, Kureka and Kart Racer as the 3 guys at the back. Although Moritz maybe he will be able to get back into DRS with Russell with a bit of luck, a bit of good pace. Although it does look unlikely, especially if Russell was already able to drive out that gap. I don't see why he would be able to catch him back up. Yellow flags in the S section where there's no car at all. Very interesting. Meanwhile, Linus going around the outside. But no chance. Ruffy covers him off and stays in P1. Just shifting through the field, trying to see if anyone is going for moves, but that's not the case. Sparks is currently listed as being 1 lap down, which is concerning. So yeah, there's definitely some desync going on there. So get a nice start angle here of the cars going around that really nice flat out section copied from Turkey Tonight. It's a lovely corner. I can definitely see why they copy it. Well, they copied it for Kota and for Sochi as well, so they copied it multiple times. And I can definitely see why. It's a really awesome corner. Multi-apex, flat out. It's just really fun to watch. And maybe even try to go side through there, although that does usually just go wrong. Although I've seen it been pulled off, but it's a big advantage for the car on the inside, because the outside line is just in the flat out corner obviously always slower, as that you can't really carry more speed if you're already going flat out. But yeah, we'll focus on the racing instead of philosophing or discussing outside and inside lines in flat out corners. Axelinho just about outside, now inside at DRS range of Danger Time, so yeah, he is having to use all of his ES when he's so low on ES to stay with those top 3. He's gonna drop out eventually. I don't think he's gonna be able to stay with them in the long run. And Thoralf probably loving that, because he knows Axel Niel's burning his ERS, and he will eventually have the opportunity to go for a move. But Russell as well, looking to put a move on him. Linus at the front though, he's gonna go down inside, yes he is. And this time with the inside line, does manage to get that move done. Linus takes the lead away from Ruffy. No moves being made further in the back of the field. And Moritz, Korik and Kaiser keep falling away here. So that's not the best thing for those three at the back, especially for Kartracer, who has the soft tire compound at the end. He would have been looking for more than that. Sparks is now out of the session. I'm gonna try and invite him back in. Hopefully he does manage to rejoin. Cannot invite players because the game room is closed. Brilliant, I can't invite anyone. But I was gonna invite him back in, but I can't. So that might be a problem. So yeah, Sparks probably then penciled in as P10. I don't know if he'll even get points if he doesn't manage to rejoin the lobby. Well, that 1 point that he would get. Thoralf trying to go down into an Axelino. It's a very late move. And appropriately, Axelino shuts the door on him. Does not let him go past there. Yeah, would not have expected him to be able to pull that off either. I mean, it was a very late move, and Axelinho was not entitled to leave, or was not required to leave him any space. Let's go back on board to the leading pair. Ruffy quite close to Linus. He's got more ES as well. I'm expecting a move down the back straight. Only 3/10 the gap between them. DRS alone should be enough, but if he needs it, he has the ES as well. Let's see what he decides to do. Terrible camera angle here. Let's go to Linus and hope that camera angle is better. Yes, it is. Seeing the battle unfold. Ruffy is going to be given the outside line by Linus, but it doesn't even matter as Ruffy goes past before the corner even. Danger Times can't get involved. Thoralf getting past Axelino now. Meanwhile, Korika passing teammates Moritz. So yeah, on one lap, all the moves are happening at once, and they can't catch any of them properly. Brilliant. Danger Times now dangerously close to Linus, 2.5 tenths, putting pressure on the NLR driver. I mean, well, NLR looked so strong in qualifying, but GSP seems to have turned around. Currently 3 GSP cars in the top 5 and 1 NLR car. So yeah, GSP looking strong right now. I assume they're leading the points, at least at the current situation. We're going to be given the points update by Harley, or the Never Last Racing account, which I believe is Harley. We're going to be given the points update by him after the pit stops. Danger Times now dropping back a bit. We now have one train from P1 to P6. They're all right behind each other, as Thoralf was able to catch up the Danger Times. And then we've got, in the end we've got 2 trains. We've got Ruffy, Linus, Danger Times, Thoralf, Axelin and Russell from P1 to P6, and then Korika, Moritz and Kartracer and P7 to P9, and then obviously Sparks' AI, after this is just driving around the back on his own. He's not going to get involved in anything anymore, he's just going to keep dropping back. Linus might be too far back for a move on Ruffy here, I don't think there's much of a point. Turns off the DRS, he fakes going to the inside, but obviously never gonna even attempt it from that far back. Kartracer looking to get past these guys. He does seem to be fast as he's riding very, very close to those guys. He's practically sitting in their gearboxes. But he can't be... yeah, you just can't find a place to make set move. Yeah, just not really close enough into here to go for the dive bomb. But he's got all the time in the world. 21 laps to go in this race. And once he does manage to overtake, it's only 3 seconds to the leading train. So he's not too far behind to get back into this race. 3-second time penalty for Russell. Second penalty of the race. Danger Times and Russell now each with 3 seconds. Bad news for NLR then, as now the penalty advantage over GSP is gone. Both teams having 3 seconds off penalties in total. Still nobody able to go for a move down in turn 1. Obviously, Moritz being held by Korika with the DRS is hurting Kartracer as he can't get past him on the straight. Doesn't have that overspeed. But Kartracer has doubled the ERS of both those guys ahead. So he should be able to go for a move if he stays this close. But I think he will, as the medium tires are definitely starting to get into their own now. The soft tires are dropping off a bit. And now he's trying to stay close here. Trying to move down into this corner already. He's not even going to wait for the straight. He's going to go down inside on Moritz, take the opportunity, and he does go past on exit. Moritz though still there, going to get slipstream from his teammate Korika. Meanwhile up at Danger Times, trying to pass Linus, bit of contact made, we're gonna have to stay on board with this, as Linus now trying to take the lead from Ruffy, manages to make that work. No, Ruffy now with the inside line, does manage to stay ahead just about, I believe. Ruffy is the inside advantage, but Linus will right there, might go back down inside here. No, he won't, but Danger Times drives around the outside. And nope, Linus stays in P2, Ruffy stays in P1. And because of that battle, we've missed Kaisa passing both Korika and Moritz. That's a bit of a shame. But yeah, we had to cover the fight for the lead. But now Kaisa in clean air is gonna start chasing after those soft runners. And Linus, the first to blink, pitting for fresh tires. What will it be? I assume it's not mediums. That is the most common strategy, soft to medium. Russell in the pit as well. Moritz in the pit as well. What tires will we see? That is mediums for one of the NLR cars. For Russell. Mediums for Linus. And Moritz obviously mediums as well. As expected, everybody going for a soft to medium strategy. Although I was expecting them to go longer. I commentated on a USA race recently where we had a safety car on like lap, I think 7 or 8. And by the end, the people who pitted for mediums under that safety car really had a lot of pace drop. They started losing 1.5 seconds a lap to the guys who were on the hard tires. So I think it might have been a bit early to pit for mediums. But we'll see if that works out for them. Obviously they have the undercut now, so they might end up ahead of the guys that are still out on track like Ruffy, Danger Times and Thoralf. Probably gonna be seeing Linus and Russell working together now to try and get back, try and get further up the field. Thoralf and Danger Times swapping places from P2 to P3, actually looking to take advantage of it, but he isn't able to get past any of them. Ruffy has got more than a second to his teammate Thoralf. I'm expecting to see these guys pit now to avoid a massive undercut from Linus and Russell. Otherwise they're gonna be in trouble and might drop out of DRS range to them. As Linus and Russell are indeed working together. Russell in Linus' DRS range, being carried along a bit. Let's see, people pitting. Yep, all of them are pitting. Ruffy, Thoralf, Danger Times, Axelinho. Kai is obviously staying out on the mediums. Korika gonna pit as well. And I'm expecting all of them to pit for medium tires as well. Anything else would be a big surprise in my opinion. There we go, Thoralf and Danger Times on mediums, Ruffy on mediums, Axelinho on mediums and Korika on the mediums as well. Let's see, will Linus come out in the lead? Yes he will, and Russell will be in P2. That worked perfectly for them, this undercut. They are now 1-2, although Ruffy is side with Russell, but Russell has the advantage of having the speed to go around the outside. There we go. Linus and Russell effectively 1-2 once Kaisa makes his pit stop for the soft tire. And as well, GSP only have one car in the DRS train at the front. Thoralf has dropped out. But maybe Ruffy will be slowing down a bit to let him back in, or he just pushes like crazy to get back those 2 tenths that he needs. Russell has got off DRS range to Linus. Linus might just be trying to drive away now, or let's see, is Linus gonna wait for Russell and let him get back into DRS range, or is he gonna try and pull a gap to Ruffy? Linus is gonna start driving away, and Ruffy is gonna immediately pass Russell. Oh, they've made a bit of contact as Russell rears across the track, but now Ruffy does get past eventually. 1.2 seconds to get to Linus. This could be crucial whether or not Ruffy manages to get into that DRS range. That could be the deciding factor now in the fight for the race win between Ruffy and Linus. Nobody else really seems to quite be able to keep pace with them at the moment. They were really the two front runners, and there was Danger Times behind them, just managing to somehow hang on in DRS range somewhat. Will Linus keep Ruffy out of DRS range? That could be very, very crucial in the fight for the race. Korika actually pitted for softs. 3 second penalty for Thoralf. So yeah, Korika actually did not pit for me. He went for fresh softs, which is a very interesting strategy. Fast left race from Linus. Linus pushing his heart out there, trying to pull away from Ruffy, and it seems to be working. He's gonna leave Ruffy in the dust. Someone at least 1.4 seconds, it was 1.2 seconds I believe earlier on right in the lap. So Linus trying to pull that gap. He's gonna leave Russell to deal with him. If Russell can maybe start attacking, but Russell is so low on ES, will he be able to start attacking Ruffy? Probably not. Right now we've got 61 points, oh sorry, 62 points in the fast lap of Linus for NLR and 40 for GSP. Got a points update since Kaisa is obviously still we're gonna have to wait for his pit stop for a while since he's on the alt strat. Although with once Kaiser does pit, the points may swing in favor of GSP a bit. I don't know if it's gonna be enough for them to overtake NLR. Probably not. But we will see once Kaiser does pit, and once we do come towards the end of the race, which team will end up taking the win. Quick question: does Sparks get 1 point for his P10, or does not end up given? Do you not give points for his AI? Will that be given to him or not? Ruffy now almost back in DRS with Linus, so Ruffy, yeah, they're both pushing like hell. Because they both know it's crucial to be in a DRS, or crucial to have him out of DRS 1.0. And there we go, back to 0.9. That's what Ruffy needs, back in DRS range. No points to Sparks, okay. Fast lap back to GSP as Koika used the soft tires to put in the fast lap of the race with a, what was the day again? 134.3, and Moritz spins around. Wing damage for Moritz as well. And, well, that's his race effectively over. It's gonna have to make another pit stop. And he's gonna be way behind the field now. So unless there's a safety car, he is pretty much out the fight for anything other than, yeah, P9. He's gonna bring home that P9 from now, I think. That's all he can hope for, really. Ruffy now, yeah, certainly back in DRS with Linus, so that little tactic of trying to drive away from him did not work. Ruffy was able to get back into the DRS range, and the fight is back on. Linus and Ruffy looking to fight this out for the race win. Obviously, Kart is on the outskirts currently in P1, but he will have to make his pit stop probably around lap 17-18. We'll see when he does actually make his pit stop. Important to note, Russell, Thoralf and Danger Times all have penalties, all have 3 seconds. So right now Axelinho is actually in effective P3. He will take P4 on penalties. Oh, sorry, and then P3 once Kaiser pits. We're gonna see Koika pit again later as well. He won't be able to make the end on those softs. He's not even allowed to. He started on softs, pitting for softs. So I guess he's going for soft, medium. I assume that's what the strategy is. I have to say, I'm not really sure that's a good strategy. But, well, if it works for him, maybe he gets lucky with a well-timed safety car. That might bring him back into the fight. Moritz now in the pits, getting a fresh front wing and fresh tires. Yeah, he's just gonna be... Yeah, he's gonna be way behind the field now. I guess we're gonna stay with these guys here from P2 to P7 for the rest of the race. Torika's driving on his own, Moritz driving on his own, Kaiser as well. He might join these guys at a later point. If he doesn't, he will end up in P7 pretty sure. I think, yeah, with Torika having to pit as well, he's not gonna come back at him. Ruffy, now getting close to Linus. Is he gonna go for a move? Down into the corner here, taking the inside line, and Ruffy has the advantage. Squeezes Linus out on the exit. And does take back P2 on track, P1 effectively. Nobody in the rest of the DRS train able to go for moves. This is really, yeah, without a DRS it's so difficult to go for a move on drivers with similar pace. You just can't really, you don't have the almost speed on the straight to get past if they have DRS as well. 3-second time penalty for Axelinho, and that throws my my talk about him being in an effective P3 right out the window. So now Russell, Thoralf, Danger Times and Axelinho all with 3 seconds of penalties, while Linus, Ruffy, Kaiser, Moritz, Koika and obviously Sparks' AI have 0 penalties. Well, Thoralf is running very close to the back of Russell, so maybe he will be able to go for a move. He's got about 20% more ES as well, so he, I think he is trying to do a move on the NLR driver. Looking to put himself into P4. Yeah, look at how close he is. He's, you can see visually, he's much closer to Russell than anyone else is to another car in the train. And I think this might be the main fighting point we see on this back straight now. Both using overtake, but Russell is so low on overtake, it's gonna invite a move from Thoralf. Linus up ahead, has a look, Thoralf dives down the inside, and gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I have to admit that was not a smart move from Thoralf. I mean, very late dive bomb, gets his penalty and doesn't even get a position now as Russell manages to fight back. Yeah, no, that was not really gonna work from Thoralf. Tries to dive around the outside, ambitious move once again, but once again doesn't manage to make it stick as I expected, to be honest. I don't think moves like that really work when you have drivers on such similar pace. You could try that on a driver who maybe has worse tires, worse pace in general, but not on a driver who is so closely matched with you. You can't just try to hang it around the outside like that, or even dive it down the inside. Neither of that was ever going to work, really. Current gap from Ruffy to Kaiser is 6 seconds. How far will Kaiser be behind? And the thing is, once he does pit, he won't have DRS, so it's going to be difficult for him to catch them. So yeah, Kart Racer might be in trouble here if he wants to actually get involved in this fight. But if he does manage to stay, or get close to them, if he gets a well-timed safety car maybe, then he could be on for a great result. Otherwise, I don't really see it happening, as the gap is going to be just a bit too big. I mean, they're down to 5 seconds, so he's got, maybe 15 seconds to gain, which just isn't going to happen, realistically. Meanwhile, Russell does not manage to stay in DRS range to Linus, who is now going to start saving ERS probably. Danger Times is now going to go past Thoralf. Thoralf low on ERS, so might be a position swap for Danger Times to be able to attack Russell after Thoralf failed to do so. And now Danger Times with a lot of ERS in his car can attack Russell. Could be a strategical move by GSP to have the car who is currently more able to attack Russell, so they can get past him. See, now with Thoralf having 6 seconds penalties, he will also be losing the position to Axelinho. And perhaps also a concern later for Kart Racer. He might be able to get into those 6 seconds, especially if he doesn't get a penalty, which he currently does not have. Still, nobody is able to quite make those moves. We're not seeing, well, when we are seeing people go for moves, they're all at the same time. So it's very difficult to keep on top of this race. I mean, it's been a brilliant race up until now. I haven't really been able to, I don't know, I haven't really shown it, but I've been really enjoying this race, and now I've been staying pretty quiet. I guess it's because I have to admit, I'm getting a bit tired. It's quite late, I've been up for a while. So I'm trying to channel my last bit of energy here. As Linus now has dropped out of DRS range, sorry, to Ruffy. That could be very important now, as Ruffy does manage to break that DRS. Yep, no DRS from Russell, for Linus, sorry, and he's also burning his ERS a bit, trying to keep Linus away. So Ruffy now, well, he's in a very good spot if he's able to actually drive away from Linus. That could be an early indicator that he just has more pace, and too much pace for Linus to match. Especially if he does actually manage to keep him out of the DRS, Linus could be in big trouble. .0 seconds the gap. This is so close. I'm not sure if Linus made a mistake or Ruffy just actually managed to drive out that gap without me really noticing it that much. Now Kart Racer in the pit lane. There we go. Kart Racer probably going for soft, I assume. Anything else would be very surprising to me. So he's gonna drop down the field, put him some softs. Yep, there we go. He's gonna come out behind Korika, who still has to pit once again as well. Kart Racer is quite some way behind that pack though. I mean, I'm just gonna activate the gap to the leader so we can actually see. Yeah, he's got 15 seconds, which is gonna keep rising a bit for now until he reaches turn 1. So yeah, about 15 seconds to gain, to catch in 11 laps. I think that's just a bit too much. So yeah, Kart Racer will not be getting involved in this fight, I believe. Perhaps he can steal a couple of positions from the guys with penalties, but he will not be getting involved in the fight on track. At least that's my prediction. Meanwhile, Linus has indeed dropped out of the DRS when he's got no ERS left, basically. He's down to 1%. So yeah, Ruffy, brilliant job by him. He's driven out of the DRS when he's now all on his own. And that does obviously put Linus under pressure, as he now has no DRS in defense from the cars behind. He's got no ERS as well. Linus is in big trouble here. But he is the only one in this train now with no penalty. Especially now that Ruffy has gone up ahead, he's not even in this train anymore. As Chad predicted that Ruffy would win, and it does seem as if Chad is gonna be right here as Ruffy is showing some brilliant pace, able to pull away from that pack. Although he's not quite gone yet. If he does make some mistake, Linus will be right back there and ready to fight again. 3-second time bit for Kart Racer, and that pretty much throws the chance of getting many places on penalties out the window. I guess he might get into the, well, he needs to be within 3 seconds of Thoralf now. He might still be able to do that, but I think, yeah, he obviously can't get somebody on penalties who has the same amount of penalties as him. Slide coming out of the S section by Danger Times, but he does manage to catch it. So no real problem for him there. Russell is dropping out of the S bench to Linus as well, so he's back in now. But Danger Times is very close to Russell here. This could be a move for Danger Times. He's burning that ERS. And Linus is gonna let Russell go, and Danger Times looking to get past Linus as well, but he can't find any gap. Linus stays in P2, Russell stays in P3. But that did allow Ruffy to pull a few tenths on Linus once again. 3-second penalty to Moritz, but it doesn't really matter, he's got a 35-second gap to the car in front. So, yeah, it doesn't really affect his race in the slightest. Korika seems to be dropping a lot of pace, he's now 7.3 seconds behind the leading pack. And also, it was a bit less earlier, I believe. Let's have a look at the tires and just see what tires everyone's on. So yeah, we can see that Danger Times, Thoralf and Axelinho are on 1 lap softer fresh tires, and so is Ruffy. Obviously Car is on the fresh softs. Car is now fast into the race, 1:34.0. And considering he's on fresh softs, I guess Korika could beat it. No, he can't, because he has to pit for mediums. Korika's strategy is very interesting to me, I guess, because he has to pit for mediums now. For a shorter stint than he did on the softs. So, well, yeah, I guess he has some kind of plan, but I don't really understand the plan. Meanwhile, Thoralf is pretty close to the Danger Times. Let's see if we're gonna see an inter-team swap here at GSP, but it doesn't appear that way. Lion is now completely out of ERS and losing plenty of time on this straight. Yeah, I think Ruffy is now 1 and 2 really gonna be clear and out of any trouble. Meanwhile, Kart is going for the move on Korika. Round the outside, use tire advantage, squeeze someone on the inside. Korika gets a 3-second time penalty. Kaiser dives it back down the inside. They're still side by side here, but Kaiser does manage to get the move done eventually. Pulls himself under P7. Now an 8-second gap to Kaiser ahead, and I think that might just be too much. Kaiser's alternative strategy, I think it hasn't worked out for him quite as well as he would have hoped. He's only been able to gain 3 places there on, well, Sparks disconnected, and then Korika and Moritz, who are both on, well, running on a 2-stop as well. Not as well, but running on a 2-stop, but he's on the 1-stop. Just because he was running outside of the DRS train, I think it's lost him too much time, and having that DRS that all of these other guys do have. I mean, I guess he's got 7.8 seconds to catch in 8 laps, not impossible, but his tires are going to start dropping off, he doesn't have DRS, so I don't really see him being able to catch up by that much. Now once again, Thoralf is close to Danger Times. Nobody else really close to anyone in this train. Or close enough, I mean they're all pretty close, but not quite close enough to go for moves. So we're just seeing them drive around in circles pretty much, as they're now lapping Sparks, I believe. Yep, they are. Well, it's an interesting onboard. Okay, we'll just accept that. Sparks' AI is driving out without a front right tire. Alright, right now we have 50 points to NLR and 51 to GSP, so it's insanely close. This will come down to a singular point. Who has a fast lap right now is the question. Kart Racer does. And Tura is out! Tura is off the race! He just lost it! On the exit of the final corner and he's out the race! Safety car has been deployed! Oh my lord! This race has been thrown wide open! And that has really swung the momentum in NLR's favor. I mean, big points lost for GSP there. Kart Racer should be allowed to pass safety car. Yes, he is. And now, well, either they pit for softs, all of them, or they're gonna have a very fast Kart Racer who is on soft tires right behind them. This has changed everything. Moritz now back in the fight. Korika is gonna be back in the fight, although he's on mediums, so he's got a big disadvantage. Unless these guys don't pit, in which case he doesn't. Well, and now, I mean, with Tura out of the race, that could cost GSP the win. GSP was 1 point ahead, and that singular, well, that big point loss of losing, I think Tura was running, what, P5, P6? More than enough to change the entire race. Ruffy's gap is gone as well now. He's right back with the field. And let's see, what is the strategy gonna be? Are they gonna pit for softs? Are they gonna stay out on mediums? I assume Kart is gonna stay out and get the track position. If they don't pit. Would make sense for him to do so. His soft tire shouldn't be that worn out after 3 laps. He might have a bit of tire wear. But I believe we'll be seeing Kart staying out and the rest of the field pitting for softs. Especially the top 5. Maybe Korika will go back into pits as well and get a fresh of softs if he has one. I don't think he does. Ruffy in the pits. Linus in the pits. Russell in the pits. Danger Times in the pits. Actually near the pits. Kart Racer. In the pits! Okay, Kart Racer getting fresh soft tires rather than track position. Interesting. Did not expect that. I thought he was gonna go for track position, but he isn't. And obviously, all of them guys pitting for soft tires. So Kart Racer rather have 4 lap fresher softs than have the track position. Korika also pitting for softs. Does he still have fresh softs left? Oh, I guess he does, because we had the lobby restart, didn't we? So he had 3 fresh softs because of the lobby restart. Oh no, we didn't have a lobby restart between qualifying and the race. So it's just gonna be used tires from qualifying? Seems to be the case. And there we go. Everybody now on the soft compound tire, apart from the AI of NLR Sparks, who's gonna be splitting Axelinho and Kart Racer here. Well, now we are in for a very, very exciting final to this race. Probably a 5 lap. It's pretty much a 5 lap race. I mean, we've got everybody on fresh softs. We've got 5 laps after the safety car comes in, probably. This is pretty much a 5 lapper now. I mean, that's just brilliant. we do this entire race and we end up with a 5 lap sprint at the end. But that's just racing sometimes. The safety car coming out at the perfect time for Kart Racer. For NLR perhaps. Kart Racer has just passed the AI of Spark. Is he allowed to do that? Does the game allow it? Yep, Kart Racer is apparently allowed to pass Sparks. Interesting. The game doesn't seem to be making him get position back. Will Korika be allowed to do the same, or will he do the same? I'm not sure. And Moritz will be catch up in the field by the end of the next lap, and then we're ready to race. Everybody will be in this one DRS train. But, important to note, Ruffy and Linus are the only ones without a penalty, so realistically they are the only ones who can win the race. The rest of the field is on 30 seconds. So we've got equal opportunity. It's pretty much Linus and Ruffy fighting for P1 and P2, and the rest fighting over P3 to P8. Because they are the guys without penny penalties. And then the rest do have exactly 3 seconds. So it's a straight fight between Ruffy and Linus, and a straight fight between Russell, Danger Times, Axel, Nyoka, Issa, Korika, and Moritz. You just love to see it, don't you? I mean, we can pretty much just, we don't even need a tiebreaking now, just a straight race. If we look at where the guys started, I mean, Ruffy has gained 1, Linus lost 1, Russell gained 3, Danger Times and Axel Nyoka stayed where they are, Issa gained 4, Korika gained 2, Moritz stayed where he is. Obviously, Thoralf and Sparks lost out significantly. Stops, we've got Korika and Moritz both with 3 stops, rest of the field with 2. I'm gonna keep on the penalties, so we see if anybody does get a penalty, because we do know everybody's on fresh softs. Everybody on the same strategy. And we should be going racing at the end of this lap for a big finale to this race, for a sprint to the line. And that could really decide everything. I mean, it's exactly a straight race. No strategy involved, just racing. Safety car coming in. This lap, Ruffy leading the field now. Everybody gonna be warming up their tires. And we are ready to go. Who will be taking home the win now? Will it be GSP with Ruffy, Danger Times, Korika and Moritz? Or will it be LR with Linus, Russell, Axel and Kaiser? We've lost Sparks and Thoralf. So 1 driver from each team. It's down to a 4v4. Who will be able to take home more points by the end? Ruffy going quite slowly here. Safety car is quite far ahead. He might be able to restart the race pretty soon. As we go into the second corner, Ruffy seems to be going. Yes, Ruffy has picked up the pace. And we are restarting the race. Good restart from Ruffy. Already a 7/10 gap to Linus. Danger Times though, he's missed the restart as well. 1 second behind Russell. Danger Times not able to stay close enough to them. Korika and Moritz fighting already. Kaiser and Axel swapping place. Kaiser up into P5, gonna start chasing down the 2 guys. Danger Times up ahead. Looking good for him. Instantly gaining a place. Russell is right behind Linus, and Ruffy though, Ruffy already with a 1 second gap to Linus. Ruffy with a brilliant job here. Getting them back out of the DRS range. Very strong restart from Ruffy. Doing exactly what he needed to. And getting himself, just away and free, pretty much. But Linus just about inside the 1 second range. And once again, that's the crucial decider now. Can he stay in DRS or can he not stay in DRS? I believe that would be, if he doesn't stay in DRS, it's race over pretty much. Ruffy will take home the win. But if he does, Linus can fight on. And Linus burns the ERS to stay close. Successfully, down to 5/10. Ruffy is not gone now. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words. This is just, I know I don't sound excited, I just sound tired. But right now this race is just awesome. We've got everybody in the same train, everybody fighting from P1 to P8. Fighting over those points, looking to get home, bring home the win for their team. But right now, nobody's close enough to go for a move on anyone. Russell and Linus are definitely staying close to Ruffy. The danger trap is Ruffy. Kaiser with a second penalty for him. 6 seconds to Kaiser now. And that's crucial, it's gonna cost him positions. Kaiser has now pretty much lost any chance of a podium with that. Fastest the race goes to Linus, 32.4, but we could see that being beaten later on in the race. We still have a few laps to go, lap 25 out of 28. Ruffy and Linus, those two are gonna be deciding the win between them. Only 1 star penalties. Who will take it home? Danger Times now dropping out of the DRS range to Russell. That could be crucial. But Kaiser with the penalty, I mean, he is in big trouble now with having more penalties than the rest of the field. It's gonna cost him big time, I believe. It's gonna drop him down. Definitely behind Axelinho, maybe behind Moritz and Korika, and it doesn't really make a move on Danger Times worth it. Just unnecessary risk for no gain right now. Meanwhile, Ruffy has more ES than Linus, but Linus is right there, warming up his tires behind him. Interesting. Just weaving, showing his face in the rearview mirror. When once the DS is open, I believe we're gonna start seeing the scraps. We're gonna start seeing Linus try to attack Ruffy. Trying to take home that win for NLR on his debut race for the team. Meanwhile, Axelina dropping off DRS to Kart Racer somewhat. Will he be able to stay with him? Doesn't really seem that way. Kart Racer also not quite close to Danger Times. Danger Times not getting close to Russell. Danger Times picking up the pace a bit. Looking to get involved in that fight over P3 with Russell. And now, as we're gonna cross the line, or as Ruffy crossed the line, there we go, DRS enabled. Crucial moment in the race. Ruffy hasn't managed to pull away. But neither has Linus or Russell or Danger Times or Kart Racer has, sorry. But Axelina as well. So Axelina is on his own. Kaiser is, well, still in the train. So they've got a 5-man train in the front. And the rest of them, I mean, I guess Moritz and Korika could fight. But since their teammates are doubted, Ruffy with the penalty! Ruffy with a 3-second penalty! And that is crucial! Crucial! Linus now doesn't even need to do anything. He just has to not get a penalty. He just has to stay behind him. He's got the race win in the back. Ruffy gets a 3-second time penalty with 3 laps to go. And that is that must be so annoying for him. He must be so pissed at himself right now. Just, yeah, getting that penalty at the worst possible time. And now, Linus is still gonna go for a move, is he? Yes, he is, of course. Linus, round the outside, still putting on a show here. Bit of contact made. Russell looking to get involved, but that could honestly be the 1-2 for NLR now that Ruffy has the penalty. It does actually make sense for Russell to try and fight him as well. Oh, having a look down the inside, but no, that was just too far back. And now Linus, the only car without a penalty that is actually still running. Sparks, obviously, I'm not counting him right now. And, I mean, what a shame for Ruffy. We've been robbed of such a great fight now. But, well, now we know Linus, unless he gets a penalty, he pretty much has this race win in the bag. He can't really do anything to lose it anymore. I highly doubt Ruffy will overtake him and put out 3 seconds. No matter how much more ERS he has, he can do whatever he wants. That race win is going to Linus, I'm pretty sure. With 2 laps to go now, we will see any other position changes anywhere in the field. I'm assuming NLR has the lead on points right now, but I mean, they had earlier after the crash of Toralf, and if anything, they're in a better position now that Linus is in the lead of the race. But Ruffy not giving up, he is staying close, perhaps still having hope that Linus can get a penalty. Maybe he can start fighting him. Linus now going quite slowly there. Some cheeky DRS games being played here, I believe. Trying to get Russell maybe in front of Ruffy, but Ruffy does have DRS still, didn't really work. Ruffy is gonna take Linus. But Russell is gonna take them both, is he? Or he's at least gonna take Linus. Russell now trying to go around the outside on Ruffy. Nope, doesn't make that stick. Danger Times got past. Linus has been passed by 3 cars. He's now fighting Danger Times. But even if he does lose all 3 of his plays, he's still in effective P1. Linus is still in effective lead of this race. He dive bombs his teammate Russell. Very late in the mix. 3 wide now. All contact made between Danger Times and Russell. Danger Times looking to get himself into that P2, but Linus stays ahead just about. But Danger Times did take that P3 away from Russell there. That could also be a crucial point swing for GSP, as now Korika gets a penalty, which does actually secure Kart Racer's position in the top 6. Danger Times making a move on Linus once again around the outside into turn 1. But Linus has it covered. And wing damage for Russell! That is wing damage for Russell! He hits Danger Times in the back, and he's got some wing damage. He's gonna let Kaiser pass. On the last lap of the race, Russell gets himself wing damage by hitting Danger Times in the rear in turn 1. Will that cost him anything? Will Korika or Moritz be able to take advantage? Actually, no, definitely will, but I don't think he cares about that. Can he stay within 3 seconds to Korika? Can he stay ahead of Moritz? Linus just about still in the DRS range, but even if he drops outside of it, doesn't really matter that much. Linus is, well, pretty much guaranteed now. If he just survives that 1 more half lap, actually not going past Russell. Korika right behind Russell as well. Will he actually pull out that 3 second gap? Danger Times going for a move on Linus around the outside. Side by side from the corner, Linus squeezes him out on the outside and gets placed back, stays in P2. Kaiser looking to dive it around the outside. Very ambitious move, doesn't quite manage to pull it off. Sadly, that would have been an awesome move. Russell still ahead of Korika, but Korika now going for a move. Russell defending the inside line. Korika can't get past Russell. Meanwhile, up the front, Ruffy will be taking home the win on track, but will be going to Linus on penalties. Linus will take home the win for Linus. Debut race, what a performance from him. And he's celebrating himself as he should. P1 for Linus, P2 for Ruffy, P3 for Danger Times, P4 for Kaiser, P5 for Axelinho, Moritz P6. Korika will take P7 on track, but Russell will take it away from him on penalties. So Russell P7 and Korika P8. Wow! That was quite a finale to the race. I mean, that was very, very enjoyable. Kaiser gets the Driver of the Day award by the game. I'm not sure who I would give it to. We had lots of awesome drives all over the field. And there we go. Linus celebrating his race win. Very well deserved race win. But what a battle it was all race between him and the GSP driver of I forgot the name, I'm so sorry. Ruffy, sorry. What a race that was. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Right, I'm seeing the chat. NLR 59, GSP 40, not sure if those are the updated standings after the race as well, but here we have the race results. Oh, sorry. Linus with the race win and the fastest lap. Ruffy finishes P2, Danger Times finishes P3. Kaiser starting last on the alternative strategy, ends up in P4. Axelinho in P5, Moritz P6, Russell in P7, Korika P8, and then obviously Sparks and Thoralf. DNF will not be scoring any points. I mean, that was quite an awesome race. It was a very, very fun race. I enjoyed commentating on it a lot. I guess we're gonna wait in the stream for confirmation of results, which team is actually ended up winning. I believe it is NLR, so yeah, congratulations to NLR from my side already. I believe the winner's gone to them. There we go, confirmation, NLR won, just been told in Discord chat by Harley. What a race that was. I mean, NLR 54, GSP 45, and that's it from the NLR vs GSP 5v5 team event at the US Grand Prix. What an awesome race it has been. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I have. I hope my commentary wasn't too tiring. I was pretty tired myself, I have to admit. Hopefully it didn't shine through as much. So yeah, see you I guess when our NLR League starts again, or maybe if we do another 5v5 event. Yeah, bye bye.